Okay, let's unpack this. Tax season. Just saying it, you know? It can send shivers down your spine, right?
Yeah, that dread.
Totally. The dread of mistakes or maybe missing deductions, leaving actual hard-earned money on the table. But, well, what if there was a way to maybe turn that anxiety into confidence, to really get what's happening when you file, not just, click next?
Exactly.
That's really what we're diving into today. We've got this guide, TurboTax Deluxe 2026, a complete walkthrough for hassle-free filing and bigger returns by Terry A. Oliphant. It's independent, designed specifically to bridge that gap between what the software can do, which is a lot, and your ability to actually use it purposefully.
You know, what's really fascinating here
Yeah.
is the mission behind it. It's not just learning the clicks, right?
Yeah.
It's about getting clarity on why they ask those questions and how your answers genuinely impact your bottom line, your financial outcome. This kind of deep dive, it can really transform TurboTax Deluxe from just, a tool into a system you actually master.
Which is key, especially with tax laws always shifting.
Yeah, good point. So our mission for you today, it's pretty simple. We're going to pull out the most impactful nuggets, the real aha moments from this guide. Think of it as your shortcut to being informed and hopefully genuinely confident for the 2026 tax season.
Whether you dread April, or you're totally new to filing, or maybe you just want to squeeze every last bit out of TurboTax, you're definitely in the right place.
Absolutely. So let's get started. Let's demystify this tax journey.
Let's do it.
So, okay, before we even think about a tax form, the guide really emphasizes some foundational work, getting the groundwork right.
Yeah, laying that solid base.
We're talking about getting the software running smoothly, first off, and crucially, securing your account. It's like prepping the launch pad, right? Exactly. And the guide reminds us, preventing that mid-season frustration. It often starts with just basic readiness, checking those system requirements.
Right. Seems basic, but
it matters. You want to make sure your computer's up to snuff, like
Yeah.
Windows 10 or later, macOS Monterey or newer, enough RAM, they recommend 8 gigs, reliable internet,
Oh, yeah.
and for the web versions, just use a modern browser like Chrome or Safari, not Internet Explorer.
Definitely not. Okay.
Taking those few minutes up front, it can honestly save you hours of headache down the road.
Good point. And with the system ready, the next critical step, the guide points out, is securing your personal gateway, that Intuit account.
Yes.
It's more than just a login, isn't it? It's your command center.
Precisely. Security is, paramount here. You need a strong password, mixed characters, the usual. A mobile number for that two-step verification.
All right.
You'll verify your identity. This is really crucial because e-filing needs secure identification. It's how they match your tax identity, prevent fraud.
Maybe.
Plus, a good account setup means you can sync across devices. Start on your phone, finish on your laptop, that kind of thing.
Nice. Okay, so foundation set. The guide then kind of eases us into the software itself, demystifies what might look like a complex dashboard at first glance.
Right. It shows how TurboTax is actually designed to be, pretty intuitive, like your co-pilot.
Yeah.
What's particularly clever, I think, is the interface design. That dashboard gives you a snapshot of your whole filing journey. There's that clear progress tracker right at the
I
top.
like that tracker.
Yeah, it's not just cosmetic, it's a real motivator. Shows you exactly how much is left in each section. Personal info, income, deductions, and credits.
Keeps you going. And that navigation menu on the left, that's your command center, right? It lets you jump between sections.
Exactly, jump between income and wages or deductions and credits without losing your spot. Very handy.
Okay.
And a really impactful feature, the guide highlights those real-time updates.
Ah, yes, the refund tracker.
Right. As you put in numbers, your refund or, what you owe adjusts instantly. This immediate feedback isn't just a number changing. The guide sees it as a secret weapon for proactive tax planning. Seeing the instant impact of a deduction, it kind of empowers you to actively look for more savings, not just passively type things in.
That's a great way to put it. The guide also shows how TurboTax handles both federal and state returns. That can feel like juggling two different things.
It definitely simplifies what can be complex. TurboTax defaults to federal, first makes sense, since state returns often build on that federal data.
Okay.
Once you're done with federal, it smoothly prompts you for your state return, pulls in the relevant info automatically.
Yeah.
And for those tricky situations, like living in one state, working in another,
Yeah, that happens.
the guide assures us TurboTax is smart about it. It guides you through allocating that income correctly so you avoid double taxation. Handles state-specific stuff too, like California property tax relief, or New York commuter benefits.
Gotcha. But what if you do hit a snag? Where do you go for help inside the software?
Good question. The guide points to the help icon, top right corner. That's your first stop. It's got a pretty robust search tool.
Okay.
And those little blue question marks, they pop up everywhere, explaining jargon on almost every page. Super helpful.
Right.
For broader stuff, there's a built-in community forum. And if you need direct help, TurboTax Live Basic offers chat with a tax pro, though. Heads up, that's usually an extra fee.
Okay, good to know. Now, let's get to the real core. Building your personal tax profile. The guide really hammers home that accuracy here is just non-negotiable.
Absolutely. And that makes you ask, why is accuracy so critical right here?
Yeah.
Because even tiny mismatch is a typo in your legal name. Getting your SSN wrong by 1 digit.
Oh boy.
That can cause an electronic rejection from the IRS. Weeks of delay. So you confirm your name, SSN or ITN, marital status, and details for any dependents. Getting those dependents right directly impacts credits later.
So take your time there.
Definitely. The guide really stresses double-checking this section.
And then choosing your filing status. The guide says this carries like enormous weight.
It really does.
Right.
It sets your tax bracket, your standard deduction amount, which credits you can even claim. The guide breaks down the 5 statuses: single, married filing jointly, MFJ, married filing separately, MFS, head of household, HOH, and qualifying widow.
Okay.
MFJ is often best for married couples, but there are exceptions, maybe protecting one spouse's refund. Head of household is usually for single parents or someone supporting a dependent relative. TurboTax walks you through questions to recommend the best fit, explaining the pros and cons. Make sure you don't accidentally pick a worse option.
All right, let the software guide you there. Now, one of my personal favorite time savers. Importing last year's data, such a relief.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. If you used TurboTax before, great. If not, you can often upload a PDF from another service.
Nice.
It ensures consistency, cuts down manual entry errors for things like SSNs, employer IDs, stuff you don't want to mess up.
Yeah.
The guide also mentions you can view side-by-side summaries. Compare this year to last year. Helps spot big changes.
Oh, that's useful.
But, and this is important, always review that imported data. Did you move? Have a kid? Get married? The software won't know unless you tell it. Don't just assume it's all correct.
Good reminder. Okay, moving on. The guide makes it super clear. Income is the backbone of your return, and TurboTax Deluxe aims to simplify reporting it, even if you have multiple sources.
Yeah, and here's where it gets really interesting for a lot of people. For most, it starts with W-2s, right? Your job.
Yep.
TurboTax shines here. You can often import it directly using your employer's EIN. That's their employer identification number.
Like a company SSN.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can snap a photo with your phone or just type it in manually. That direct import, though, big error reducer.
Sure.
But it's not just W-2s. The guide lists all sorts of other forms. 1099 INT for bank interest, 1099 DIV for stock dividends, 1099 ADC, that's key for freelancers.
Ah, the NEC.
Right. And 1099B for investment sales from your broker. The good news is, many of these can also often be imported directly from banks, brokerages, gig platforms. Really streamlines things.
Okay, speaking of gig platforms, self-employment, freelance income, it's so common now, but it can feel really overwhelming to report properly.
Totally. The guide specifically tackles the gig economy. If you earned $600 or more from one client, they should send you a 1099 NSC.
Should.
Right. But even if you don't get one, you still have to report that income. The IRS expects it.
Got it.
TurboTax simplifies this. It guides you through entering the income, but crucially, also adding related business expenses. This is where you cut down your taxable income.
Super important for freelancers.
Absolutely. Think home office space if it's used exclusively for business, vehicle mileage for work trips, supplies, maybe even health insurance premiums. The guide reminds us self-employed folks pay both halves of self-employment tax, Social Security, and Medicare. So tracking every single expense is vital to minimize that tax bite.
Right, that self-employment tax adds up fast. Okay, what about investments? Or even cryptocurrency? That feels like a whole new frontier for taxes.
Yeah, investment reporting can get tricky fast, and you can bet the IRS watches it closely. The guide explains how TurboTax imports those 1099-D forms for stock sales. It automatically separates short-term gains from long-term gains. They're taxed differently.
Okay.
And yes, crypto, very relevant now. If you bought, sold, or traded digital assets in 2026, you absolutely must report it.
Even trading one crypto for another.
Yes. Exchanges like Coinbase or Binance usually provide 1099s you can import. The key insight the guide stresses: Every single trade is a taxable event, even crypto to crypto. Just holding it doesn't trigger anything, but selling or trading does. Accurate tracking is paramount.
Wow, okay, good to know. Now, the part everyone waits for, maximizing deductions and credits. The guide calls these the muscles of your tax return, right, giving it shape and strength.
Indeed. Love that analogy. First big choice, standard deduction versus itemizing. For 2026, the standard deduction amounts are pretty hefty, roughly $14,600 for single folks, nearly $30,000 for married couples filing jointly.
That covers a lot of people.
It does. And the guide's key takeaway here is that TurboTax does the math for you. It runs both calculations standard and itemized and automatically recommends whichever saves you more money.
So you don't have to guess.
Exactly. Now, itemizing can be better if your specific deductible expenses add up to more than that standard amount. Things like mortgage interest, property taxes, state and local taxes, though those are capped at $10,000 total.
The SALT cap.
Right. Significant medical expenses, charitable donations, if you have a lot of those, itemizing might be the way to go.
Okay. What about specific deductions tied to, daily life, home ownership, education?
Yeah, the guide points out homeownership often pushes people into itemizing, that mortgage interest deduction and property taxes can be significant.
Makes sense.
For education, two big credits get highlighted. The American Opportunity Credit, up to $2,500 per student for college costs, and the Lifetime Learning Credit, up to $2,000 per return for other courses or continuing ed.
Those are credits, so dollar for dollar reduction.
Exactly, better than deductions.
Yeah.
Also, student loan interest up to $2,500 is deductible above the line, meaning you don't need to itemize to claim it. It reduces your income before you even get to the standard versus itemized choice.
Oh, that's good to know. And medical expenses.
Those are tougher. You can only deduct the amount that exceeds 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, your AGI. That's your gross income minus certain specific deductions. So yeah, a pretty high bar for most people.
Okay, and for families, those child independent credits, they can make a massive difference, right? Sometimes they are the refund.
Absolutely crucial section, because credits, again, reduce your tax dollar for dollar. Much more powerful. The child tax credit for 2026 is up to $2,000 per qualifying kid under 17, and up to $1,500 of that can be refundable.
Meaning you get it back even if you owe zero tax.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Huge for lower income families. Then there's the child independent care credit. If you paid for childcare so you could work or look for work, you might get a credit for a percentage of those costs.
Okay.
And don't forget the Earned Income Tax Credit, the EITC. For low to moderate income workers, especially those with kids, this can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Big anti-poverty tool. And TurboTax automatically checks your eligibility for all of these based on your info.
That's good, because the rules can be complex. Any other maybe hidden tax-saving gems the guide emphasizes? Things people might miss.
Well, it details charitable contributions, stressing you need documentation.
Yeah.
Especially for donations over $250, like a receipt from the charity.
Great, gotta have proof.
It also highlights retirement contributions. Putting money into a traditional IRA or 401k reduces your taxable income now. And health savings accounts, HSAs.
Sure, those are good.
They're amazing. Contributions are deductible, the money grows tax-free, and withdrawals are tax-free if used for qualified medical expenses. A triple tax advantage. The guide also mentions credits for certain energy-efficient home improvements. Worth checking out.
Definitely. Okay, seeing that refund number tick up in TurboTax is admittedly a great feeling. The guide shares strategies to maybe boost that figure and also prepare better for next year.
Yeah, this is where being proactive really pays off. The guide encourages becoming a kind of tax detective all year long, looking at every expense, even small ones, through that lens of, could this be deductible?
Like what kind of things?
Things often missed include student loan interest, we mentioned that. Educator expenses, teachers can deduct up to $300 for supplies they buy out of pocket. Charitable mileage driving for volunteer work has a specific IRS rate. Even medical travel, like tolls and parking for doctor visits. State sales taxes, if you itemize and live in a state with no income tax, these little things can add up.
True. And TurboTax itself has tools baked in to help find these, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It has a deduction finder tool. That real-time refund booster meter we talked about visually shows the impact. And what-if scenarios.
What are those?
They let you test changes. Like, what if I contributed $1,000 more to my IRA? It shows you the tax impact right away.
Yeah.
Helps you make smarter financial moves before the year ends.
That's powerful.
It even includes an audit risk meter. Now, that doesn't directly boost your refund.
Right. Might make it go down if you get scared.
Huh, maybe. But its goal is to help ensure a smooth, error-free return. Avoid delays, avoid unwanted attention from the IRS. Accuracy is key.
Makes sense. And what about planning for next year? Adjusting withholding. That feels like a really practical year-round strategy.
It's a super powerful one. The guide really emphasizes using TurboTax W4 withholding calculator after you file this year's return.
Okay.
See, if you got a huge refund this year, that means you overpaid throughout the year. You could adjust your W4 form with your employer to have less tax taken out of each paycheck. More money in your pocket now.
Instead of giving the government an interest-free loan.
Exactly. Conversely, if you owed a lot this year, maybe you want to increase your withholding slightly to avoid owing again or facing underpayment penalties. It's all about balancing your cash flow, especially critical for freelancers or people with variable income.
Yeah, gotta manage those estimated payments. Okay, after all that inputting and searching for deductions, it is so tempting to just hit file and be done with it. But the guide stresses this crucial review step. Don't skip it.
Please don't. This is your safety net. TurboTax has its Smart Check feature. It scans everything for errors, omissions, inconsistencies. It flags potential problems and explains how to fix them in plain English.
What kind of things does it catch?
Missing SSNs, income discrepancies compared to forms the IRS might have, maybe calculation errors, eligibility issues for credits. The guide urges you, resolve every single Smart Check issue before you file, even the ones that don't technically block you from filing. Aim for maximum accuracy.
Okay. Are there common mistakes that maybe Smart Check might miss, or things users should be extra careful about?
Yes, some issues aren't strictly errors, but maybe practical mistakes. Simple typos in names or addresses. Overlooking a small income source, like a tiny 1099 INT. Filing with the wrong status, even if TurboTax suggested another one.
Yeah.
For paper filers, forgetting to sign. For e-filers, maybe entering the wrong prior year AGI for verification. The guide actually recommends reviewing your return twice. Once right after you finish, and then again maybe the next day with fresh eyes. You'd be surprised what you catch after a break.
Oh, that's good advice. Now, the scary word, audit. How does the guy handle that fear?
It really tries to demystify it. First off, audits are relatively rare. The IRS doesn't have the resources to audit everyone.
Okay, that's comforting.
They're often selected randomly or based on specific red flags. Things like unusually high deductions compared to your income level, big charitable donations without clear documentation, creating business losses year after year. Or, a big one, unreported income, because the IRS matches the 1099s and W-2s they receive against what you report.
Right, they know what you were paid.
Mostly, yes. TurboTax's audit risk meter gives you a rough idea if your return has characteristics that might draw more attention. But the absolute key protection the guide stresses: thorough documentation. Keep records, receipts, bank statements, mileage logs, acknowledgments from charities.
Gotcha.
An audit is really just the IRS asking for proof of what you claimed. If you have your documents organized, it's usually manageable. That documentation provides huge peace of mind.
Okay. We've inputted, we've reviewed, we've documented, we've made it to the finish line. Filing and payment. The guide lays out the options clearly here.
Yep, and e-filing is the overwhelming winner. It's faster, way more accurate, you get confirmation it was received, and it's more secure. Refunds typically arrive within 21 days, especially with direct deposit.
Paper filing.
Slow, less secure. Really only for very specific, rare situations where e-filing isn't possible. Stick with e-file if you can.
And for refunds?
Direct deposit is fastest. You can even split your refund into up to 3 different bank accounts now. Savings, checking, whatever.
Oh.
Other options. A prepaid debit card, a mailed check, which is the slowest, applying the refund to next year's estimated taxes, or even buying U.S. savings bonds.
Lots of choices. But what if you owe taxes? That can be a stressful moment when that number pops up.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be a crisis. The guide explains the IRS and state payment options. You can pay right away via direct debit from your bank account or use a credit or debit card, but watch out for processing fees with cards.
Right.
If you owe a larger amount and can't pay immediately, the IRS offers options. Short-term extensions, maybe up to 180 days, though interest and penalties still apply. Or, for amounts under $50,000, you can usually set up a long-term installment agreement, monthly payments. You'll file Form 9465.
Okay, so there are ways to manage it.
Absolutely. The crucial thing the guide stresses is, don't ignore a balance due. Penalties and interest rack up fast. Contacting the IRS and setting up a plan shows good faith and avoids more serious collection actions down the line.
Good advice. Okay, filed, done. But wait, the work isn't quite finished, is it? The guide talks about tracking refunds, maybe amending returns, and definitely record keeping.
That's right. Post-filing steps are important too. After e-filing, TurboTax gives you updates, but the official source is the IRS Where's My Refund tool online or on their app. It shows stages like return received, refund approved, and refund sent.
Okay.
It's worth knowing, though, that claiming certain credits, like the EITC or the additional child tax credit, can sometimes cause processing delays while the IRS does extra verification. Just be patient.
Good to know. And if you realize you made a mistake after filing?
It happens. You can file an amended return using Form 1040XX. TurboTax can help you prepare this. Just beware, amended returns are processed manually and can take like 16 weeks or even longer. So get it right the first time as possible.
Definitely. And finally, record keeping. How long do we need to hang on to all this stuff?
The guide says the standard rule is 3 years from the date you filed, or the due date, whichever is later. Keep copies of your return itself, plus all supporting documents, W-2s, 1099s, receipts for deductions, bank statements, everything.
3 years, okay.
Though, if you significantly underreported income, like by more than 25%, the IRS has 6 years. So maybe just keep everything for 7 years to be safe. Physical folders are fine, or scan it all and keep digital copies backed up securely in the cloud. Just make sure you can find it if you ever need it.
7 years sounds like a safe bet. Okay, so we filed 2026. What does all this mean for next year and the year after? The guide shifts gears here, really empowering us to think about taxes year-round, not just in March and April.
Exactly. This is the ultimate aha moment, I think. Moving from reactive filing to proactive planning. It's about building habits that save you stress and money later.
What kind of habits?
Things like tracking potential deductions and business expenses in real time. Use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever works. Don't wait until next tax season to try and remember everything.
Should what?
Adjusting your W-4 withholding mid-year, especially if you have a major life change. Get married, have a baby, buy a house. Making quarterly estimated tax payments if you're a freelancer, so you don't get hit with a huge bill and penalties.
Right.
Leveraging tax-advantaged accounts like flexible spending accounts, FSAs for healthcare or dependent care, or those health savings accounts, HSAs we talked about, to use pre-tax dollars. Strategic charitable, giving maybe bunching donations into 1 year to exceed the standard deduction, or donating appreciated stock to avoid capital gains tax.
Smart. And retirement planning, that's not just saving, it's tax planning too, right?
Huge tax planning component. If we connect this to the bigger picture, contributing to traditional IRAs and 401k lowers your taxable income now. Maxing those out, if possible, is often great tax strategy. Roth IRAs are different, no upfront deduction, but withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. That can be incredibly valuable down the road.
Tax diversification.
Exactly. And those HSAs, again, they're so powerful, they're often called triple tax advantaged. Deductible contributions, tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals for medical costs. They can even function like a retirement account for healthcare expenses. The guide even touches on planning for strategic withdrawals in retirement, thinking about required minimum distributions, RMDs. It gets deep.
Wow. So the ultimate goal is to walk into next year's tax season feeling genuinely prepared, maybe even calm.
That's the dream, right? Exactly. The guide suggests simple, concrete habits. Set up a dedicated tax folder, physical and digital, at the start of the year. Put receipts there immediately. Update your financial software regularly if you use it. Keep half an eye on major tax law changes. You don't need to be an expert, just aware. Plan ahead for big life events and their tax implications. Maybe even do a quick mid-year tax checkup with a tool like TurboTax's calculator.
Small efforts throughout the year.
Precisely. They avoid that massive last-minute scramble and build incredible confidence over time.
Wow. That was a really comprehensive deep dive into TurboTax Deluxe 2026 based on this guide. We've really covered the whole spectrum, haven't we? From just getting the system ready all the way to year-round tax thinking.
Yeah, it really transforms what feels like a daunting chore into something manageable, maybe even empowering.
Yeah, it's clear that tax prep, when you approach it this way, isn't just about compliance, just ticking boxes for the IRS. It's really about making informed choices, choices that genuinely affect your financial well-being.
Absolutely. By taking the time to understand the software, like TurboTax, and using its features smartly, you really can approach tax season with, well, far less stress and a lot more assurance.
So what does this all boil down to for you listening? It means you now have a much clearer map, right, to navigate your taxes, not just for 2026, but hopefully for years ahead. You're not just learning which buttons to click.
No.
You're learning how to think about your taxes differently, smarter, more strategically.
That's the key takeaway.
And, Here's where it gets really interesting. Just mull this over. If mastering something like tax software, using a guide like this, can potentially unlock thousands of dollars in savings and dramatically reduce your financial stress. What other seemingly complex systems are out there in your life, in your finances? What else could you maybe simplify and conquer with just a little bit of curiosity and maybe the right guide or approach? How much more could your money be working for you if you applied this same kind of intentionality elsewhere?
That's a powerful thought.
Something to think about until our next deep dive.